Hello, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're in America, happy 4th of July weekend. I am super excited to do this quick video for you today. I, as you know, have been transitioning the way that I do coaching, and I really want to focus more on helping coaches reach their full potential. The more coaches that we have in the world, regardless of what type of coach you are, the more people underneath them, the more people that they work with and partner with are going to be impacted. And so that's kind of the direction that I'm taking my business at the moment. However, one of my clients had sent me a couple of posts, and I really felt like I wanted to address what was said in these posts. I'm actually going to show you the post that I'm talking about in just a second. But first, I want to say how much I just honor and respect Dr. Henry Cloud and his work. His book on boundaries is by far the best book that I have found for lay people, people who are not in the mental health space. And especially for people who have codependency tendencies, that book is by far the best resource for people to, that I've come across, for people to start understanding the value of boundaries, and how having boundaries does not mean that you're mean. And having boundaries actually is a form of not only self-care, but helping the people around you to become the best versions of themselves as well. So I just truly honor his previous resources and research that he has done. His published works have been instrumental in helping many of my own clients find their footing as they are leaving a narcissist. However, I do want to point out something in this post that I'm going to actually show you right now. Please take a look at this before I continue on.
Get a couple of other kinds of responses. One is they might feel, well, how can you criticize me? Like, what do you mean I don't love you? And they kind of get defensive, and then you've got to stay in that in a way with empathy and say, gosh, did that hurt your, I didn't mean to accuse you. I mean, and empathize with that and say, I just want us to find some ways, to make this work better. So you go in with empathy and ask, what did that feel like to you? Because remember, you're dealing with an injury there, or not. See, if you can empathize with how it feels to them, then give them enough safety, then they might morph into being able to come back and respond to the empathy over time.
Okay, the reason that I'm showing you that post is for comments like this that have been posted underneath the video. First of all, I work with people who have typically tried everything in their relationship with a narcissist to get them uh, to understand how damaging their behavior is to not only that person, but also the relationship. If there's children involved, if there's a business involved, whatever other assets might be involved, they've already done all of the work. They've already looked for ways to try to mitigate the behavior of the narcissist and its impact that it's having on the family unit, on the business unit, on whatever relationship they have with the narcissist. What I want to point out here is that this is an excellent example of how being an expert in a field does not mean that you have authority over that issue that you're speaking about. Undoubtedly, Dr. Henry Cloud is an expert in his field, but this video shows that he does not have any personal experience and does not have any authority in dealing with a narcissist when it comes to living with one, co-parenting with one, being married to one. Giving people a hope that is not ever going to lead to fruition is terrible advice, regardless of what sphere you're in, but especially if you're an expert in your field. Making people think that if they just have more empathy, if they just understand the narcissist is wired this way, and making excuses for their behavior being extremely detrimental to not only that person, but also that person's destiny is completely unacceptable. We have to do better in two realms. One, in the mental health realm, we must do better in terms of explaining that you can't cure narcissism. You can't cure that unless this person is. I've said this before many times. Um, the second video that I ever did on my YouTube channel when I started making videos about narcissism was on why narcissists exist. And I explained very clearly that if you don't understand this is first a spiritual problem, you're never going to understand it in the natural. So, number one, unless this person is willing to go through deliverance, this is not going to get better. You do not have that type of power to make the narcissist choose different choices. The narcissist has benefited until this point from being a narcissist. This is why you're still looking for an answer. This is the reason why you still can't make sense of what's going on. This is why you think that you are not doing enough. If you find the right therapist, if you find the right resource, you read enough books, you can make an impact. You can make this relationship veer on a different course. And that's just simply not true. It's not possible to do it that way. This video, coming from an expert like Dr. Henry Cloud, is giving people a sense that if they try one more time, if they do one more thing, if they start thinking of something in a different way, maybe the blame is still on them. The responsibility lies on their shoulders to mitigate somebody else's behavior. And that's just not healthy. That is not healthy. And number two, the second realm that we need to do better in is the church having a better understanding of the spirit of narcissism. This is not going to get cured because you talk it away, because you therapy it away. This is not going to happen that way. We can see this in every single realm of our society. It does not work like that. And in fact, we see the opposite happening. We see tolerance and even acceptance for narcissism in every level of our society. We can see it from our government structures all the way down to our family units, the way our churches are run, the way our communities are run. We see it in the acceptance of our children's behavior growing up without having any idea of how to mitigate or cope with the behaviors that they're exhibiting. This only leads to them continuing to use those behaviors. And again, I speak about this often on my YouTube channel. The narcissist is learning. They learn. They are perfecting their craft every time they are allowed to get away with gaslighting. Every time they are allowed to skirt responsibility around an issue that they should have been held accountable for. Every time the victim is told, you should have listened more. You could have been more understanding. You could have empathized more with the narcissist. It reinforces the cycle of accepting the narcissist behavior simply because it's more, it's stronger. It's more overt. It comes across in a more authoritative way. What we need is true authority. What we need is actual people who have authority over this spirit to be able to call it out and help other people be able to take up the power that's within them that has been crushed down for so long by not only the narcissist, but all of the supporting structures in that person's lives. I'm talking about their family. I'm talking about their church leadership, even the best. You know what they say about best intentions? The road to hell is literally paved with them. It's not enough to have a good intention about why you're telling people to have more empathy for the narcissist. I understand what you're trying to say. That's not how you handle a system where it is literally reinforced by doing that, by giving into the idea that you could be doing something different. This is not going to end. I am a proponent of every single person, the moment they realize they are in a narcissistic relationship, regardless of the type of relationship it is. I don't care if it's a friendship, if it's a parent-child relationship, that you end the relationship. You get out of the relationship. Why? Because your destiny is not going to reach its potential. You are not going to have the fullness of what you are here to do while you are tethered to an anchor, to something that is literally trying to hold you back and distort who you should be. Distort who you should be. Many of my clients, when they first come to me, when I'm dealing with a narcissistic abuse victor, they have tendencies of the narcissist. Those aren't their tendencies, but they have picked them up because they have been surrounded by that environment for so long. Nobody has ever taught them their self-worth. Nobody has ever taught them about how to set strong boundaries. Nobody has ever taught them that it's okay to be without the narcissist, to end that relationship. This type of prolonging a slow death of that person's identity, of that person's destiny, and essentially that person's bloodline, because typically people who are staying with a narcissist are doing so because they have children. They have children, and or they do not feel that they have another resource. In other words, that they can't live financially apart from the narcissist. When we tell them you can make it work, we tell them you need to stop thinking that things need to be different. You are the one who needs to be different. This is the reason our society is the way it is. We need to understand that everything we teach at the family level, at the individual level, is going to multiply as it grows. We're going to see it in our business structures, in the way that companies are run. We're going to see it in the way our schools are structured. We're going to see it in the way our governments are run. We see it now. This is what happens when we don't take care of a problem when it's a problem and it's small. We allow it to increase and grow and multiply. We allow it to replicate itself into every dimension of our lives. This is just completely unacceptable to be saying to a person who thinks there is just one more video I need to watch. There is just one more book I need to read. If I find that one little thing, I know I can fix it. Instead of saying, hey, you need to wake up. You need to look at what's actually happening in front of you. You've read all the books. You've done all the therapy. You've watched all the videos. You've said all the prayers. You need to take action and understand that your life is in your hands. The direction and trajectory of the speed of your life is going to be determined by what you do or don't do, by what you allow or don't allow. That's the long and the short of it. We have to do better. We have to do better than this. Finally, I just want to conclude by saying, when you're recovering, when you finally find out that you're dealing with a narcissist and you're ready to make a change, regardless of what that looks like, while I'm a proponent that everybody leave a narcissist, I understand that everybody's timeline to do that is different. Everybody's timeline is different. And that is something that I'm in full support of you, of your autonomy to choose, because you're a powerful person. You can make powerful choices. You do make powerful choices. So while everybody's timeline is different, what we need to be teaching people is that power that you think you don't have, it's just being used against you right now. Right now, it's being transformed into something that is harmful towards you. What if we were able to transform that into something that empowers you, that sets you free, and that ultimately allows you to choose the destiny of your life? Your compassion, your empathy is a gift, and it becomes a weapon the moment you don't understand how to use your gift, which most people do not. Most people don't understand how to use their gift, which is an issue of identity, and therefore they allow somebody else to tell them how it should be used. And this is what happens when we have experts who do not have authority in an issue. They reinforce the narrative that you are a powerful person, which you are. You are a powerful person. But your power does not extend to changing somebody else's mind. You cannot force another person to do what you want them to do. And that is essentially what we're teaching people when we say, you have more empathy. Because if you do that, then they'll do this. No, that's just simply not how it works with a narcissist. I encourage you, when you are finding out that you are dealing with a narcissist and you're ready to make a change, you find somebody who has authority, not just expertise. Find somebody with authority, not just expertise. That is, I can't stress that enough. Not only is that person going to understand how to best navigate the situation with that you are in with your narcissist, but they will also help you to truly gain authority and not just understanding. What Dr. Henry Cloud here is offering is nothing more than a sideline approach to how to play the game. Get somebody who's played the game. You need somebody with authority and not just expertise. I hope this video has helped you. You guys stay tuned. Next week, I'll be back in town and I will have some more YouTube content for you on spiritual principles. I will see you guys then.